This was one of the most surprising outcomes I have ever seen in my whole life. Like Whittaker, who came out in his karate stance, got smoked out, and he pretty much got smoked out badly. Like what I have to say is, I didn't expect such a performance by Dricus Du Plessis, and it was a brutal, just brutal. Like they kicked off pretty much okay. It was a slow start though. Whittaker was out in orthodox DDP in southpaw, and Whittaker was bouncing with his karate stance, but literally nothing happened. We were exchanging punches early, but Dricus Du Plessis was just trying to follow his pace. He was trying to adjust, and Dricus Du Plessis' right leg was constantly on the outside, so he wasn't making technical mistakes. There were no technical mistakes at all. I can only say, like, both men were trying to take the lead, moving around. There were lots of feints, looks early. Whittaker landed a low kick, and he was trying to keep very long range, knowing that DDP won't be able to parry it. And after landing a jab and right, we were thinking that Whittaker might actually win this fight. DDP was covering up nicely, starting to hesitate, and Whittaker was showing good angles, but one mistake, well, one mistake cost him because he came in behind the jab, tagged the DDP, and everybody were thinking that jab is money. But that jab was not money because DDP was waiting for that. He was constantly waiting for the same mistake, and he was unable to find the range throughout 2 minutes. But when Whittaker found single shots in moments, DDP threw a kick. Whittaker drove in a double and got a takedown. While DDP grabbed the guillotine, Whittaker stepped over. DDP was pressed against the fence, though, stood up, and when they got back in space, Whittaker was having a clear speed advantage, landing a big right over the top from a failed DDP right hook. He landed the big right hand, and he was leading in round one. DDP was not able to walk Whittaker down. Whittaker was constantly tagging him with the jab and the kicks, hooks, and when DDP finally found a big right and a left, Whittaker ate it. That was the first red flag in round one. DDP started to come forward, landed a knee in the middle and a low kick, and he was starting to get in some now, literally. He was starting to get in some now. So I was thinking that DDP found a range and he was able to land a body kick, a calf kick. He was adjusting, Whittaker trying to clinch up, but DDP landed a trip, got on top, which was one of the surprises. I didn't expect that DDP has a good ground game because he is a KSW champ with excellent angling, with excellent stand-up, and Whittaker was trying to move, but DDP elbowed him from the top. And I was also surprised. Like, Whittaker was cut. Whittaker got the guard. DDP stayed on top, passed into side control, and he was controlling the whole fight. And even attacked, I believe, was it Darsh choke, I think, or something like that. Whittaker was covering up, but DDP was landing elbows. It left Whittaker bloody at the end of round one. And in round two, well, DDP showed his physicality. Whittaker was not able to do much of the back. I can tell you that. He really wasn't able to do much of the back. And DDP was in good shape in the start of round two. So I was just saying, are we going to see a big performance of DDP? Are we going to see some massive knockout? Because I knew if the fight advances into round three, it might be a problem. But there was no heavy breathing on the end of DDP. And Du Plessis landed a big low kick. Whittaker was fishing for his right hand, head kick combo, but we've seen a blocking. DDP did this and blocked. Whittaker was doing a good job trying to initiate right hand to the head because it's normal for left-handed guys. They are vulnerable to right hands, to right legs, and DDP landed the left hook that got Whittaker's attention. So it seems DDP was on top in this match. Like, a right hand landed, Whittaker was up in his output early this round, but DDP was adjusting. He was following him, and DDP's defense has been much improved. Like, Whittaker was only able to back him up a bit with the right, but DDP was constantly doing this. He was constantly covering up. And I just have to say, after Whittaker missed a high kick, we've seen the spectacular moment. Whittaker landed a left hook, but DDP stepped in landed a low kick, and Whittaker showed some good feints when Dricus Du Plessis came in, created opening, and right hand hurts Whittaker. When he created opening, this jab created the difference. Whittaker was creating an opening with the left hook, and he was trying to fish with the right. But when he was preparing for the right, big jab landed straight to the chin. And Whittaker fell to the mat. He was up, but it was visible that he was rocked. He was in trouble, And DDP was attacking very aggressively, so Whittaker was covering up along the cage, but he wasn't defending himself intelligently. So the fight was over. I just have to say that Whittaker literally made one big mistake. Hello, Raski. Whittaker made one. It's going nice. He made one big mistake. Whittaker only made one big mistake during that opening when he was fishing for a big right. That was the only problem. When he was preparing for that big right, Du Plessis dropped him. And normally you adjust for a big right. You adjust for a big right when you're fighting against a southpaw fighter. That's pretty much normal. But DDP was just faster, crisper, swifter, and he landed the shot here. He landed a big shot here, and that was all Whittaker wrote. Like Adesanya was next, you've seen the part of the game that I don't support are racial slurs that Adesanya started landing on Dricus Du Plessis, because if you want to hype the fight up, etc., that's not the way to do it. I mean, you are going to send pay-per-views, etc., but you could have sent way more pay-per-views even in the other way around, because more pay-per-views can be sent, for example, via just the fact that Dricus Du Plessis is the first South African who will be fighting for the title. And Adesanya is not pretty much loved in the community, so many people will want Israel Adesanya to lose this fight. Many people will want Dricus Du Plessis to smoke him out. Like Adesanya, he has a different fighting style compared to Dricus Du Plessis. And I hope Du Plessis will find an opening. I hope he will find a range with that jab, because Du Plessis is a guy who constantly marches forward, but his angling was heavily improved in this fight. And I've got to say that angles that were created definitively went into the favor of Dricus Du Plessis. In the first round, Whittaker's left leg, which was a lead leg, was on the inside, and then to the outside. But in the second round, Whittaker's leg was constantly on the inside. Dricus Du Plessis' leg was on the outside. He was the guy who was pushing the pace. He was the guy who was landing big bombs. So his coaches technically did an amazing job, and I've got to praise Dricus Du Plessis' technical coaches. I've got to praise his strength and conditioning coach, and I've got to praise his head coach for doing a great job. And I hope Dricus Du Plessis is going to be the first champ ever. Hope this is going to be amazing. Now I got to go, fellas, as I've got something to finish. But catch you later. Dricus did a great job, man. He got the first ever South African to fight for the title. What an amazing moment in the history of this sport.